This is the plaintiff, Deborah Bueno. She says she rented a room from the defendant, and once she moved in, she began to make unfair demands. Needless to say, things went from bad to worse, and she ended up moving out. Now, of course, she's withholding her security and first and last month's rent, and dang it, that's just not fair. So she's suing for $500, the amount she's due. This is the defendant, Helen. She says the plaintiff hit her friend's car in the driveway, and the girl didn't have a driver's license, and the car wasn't even registered in her name. Once she told her she couldn't park the car in her driveway under those conditions, the plaintiff stated she was moving out, and did. Oh, the plaintiff money? R-D-R-R. She's accused of lousy landlording. The defendant has filed a countersuit for $500 for failure to give adequate notice.
All parties, please raise your right hand. Be seated. Come to order, please. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome.
All right. Deborah Bueno.
Right.
You are suing Helen. You've asked us not to mention your last name, and we'll respect that, for $500 that you say she still owes you on rental payments that you made when you moved in with her, but according to you, she changed the agreements after you moved in. And you are counterclaiming against her $500 because you feel like you gave her back too much money.
Tell me what's going on here.
Okay, I gave her $1,500 up front for 3 months' rent for the summer.
And your plan was to live there for 3 months?
Right.
Okay.
She wouldn't allow me to have an air conditioner. I was upstairs in a tiny small bedroom.
Was there any written lease between the two of you?
I have a receipt, which, you can see that I gave her $1,500.
Right. Was there any written lease between the two of you?
No, just this.
You have a written lease? May I see it?
An agreement.
Okay, a written agreement, any kind of sole occupancy furnished bedroom from June 18th till September 22nd. So it's definitely for the 3 months. And you did the right thing. You each kept the original copy of it. So go ahead.
Okay. So she wouldn't allow me to have an air conditioner. And
when did you find that out?
I found that out when I moved in, and I said, I'm going to get a small air conditioner, and she said, no, you can't. And I said,
Did she say why you couldn't?
No.
Were your utilities included?
Yes.
Did she offer you, well, if you pay extra, you can do it? Or
no, she didn't. The girl next door had an air conditioner, and her room was just a little bigger than mine.
Did you say to her, but that's not fair, you let her have one? I mean, was there any
I didn't want to get into her business. I just feel that, she was being unfair to me, that I didn't have
what did you say to her?
I said, I can't live this way all summer without an air conditioner.
You said that and then you moved out that day?
No.
Okay,
I was there for 9 days.
You were there for 9 days total? So
yes.
Pretty much moved out that day. All right, so go on.
And also, I just want to show you some pictures that there was, you can take all of these. There was a long, 40-foot walkway before you get to the entrance, and she refused to keep a deck light on.
Did you say to her, there's not enough lighting back here, can you put a light? And she said no, or merely it happened to be dark? Which of the two scenarios is it?
I saw her put the deck light on once, and I asked her, can you keep the deck light on at night to walk? It's a long walkway. Can you see the picture?
And she
said no. And I just also wanted to show you a picture of the window that had a board. It held the window up, and maybe that was partly why she wouldn't allow me to have an air conditioner. I don't know if the window was broken.
I don't know. Is this how it looked when you rented it?
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be wise to say to her before you rent the place, will I be allowed to have an AC unit?
Yeah, well, I wasn't informed beforehand that I wouldn't be allowed to. I didn't think that there would be an issue.
Okay. You moved out because she wouldn't let you have the AC.
Also, she always told me to park in front of this gold car, and there's no way I could have fit right in this picture. And I kept parking on the side, and she said, you can't because of the septic tanks, which I don't understand why I can't park on a septic tank. I don't understand that. But
all right, what's going on? What happened? Did she get mad about the AC?
No.
What happened?
She got mad when she had a car accident in the driveway. She had already been in the apartment, in the room rather, for 10 days. She hit a car in the driveway. She told me she had a driver's license, and she told me the car was hers. I learned from the car accident, she has no driver's license. It's expired or not existent. I don't know which.
What does that have to do with?
I have
You need to stop.
I have the police report where they ticketed her for whatever the ticket.
I see it. Whose car did she hit?
My friend Mega.
Is she the one with the AC unit?
Yes.
Okay. Why did she ever ask you about an AC unit? Yes or no?
No.
Never even asked
No.
you? So according to you, the reason she actually moved out is because what?
Because
She hit Mega's
a car
car.
in the driveway. She wanted the case to be settled away from the insurance company because she had no driver's license for 10 years and because it was not even her car. So here she is with the car of a third party in my driveway in a car accident with no driver's license. I think Mega called the police to talk about the accident and the police report, to get a police report. And the first thing that I say to her when the policeman is there, Debbie, move your car out of the driveway.
These litigants were living in the defendant's house. The plaintiff was a tenant, but in less than 2 weeks, the plaintiff moved out because she couldn't have an air conditioner and there were car issues. The defendant says the plaintiff hit a car in the driveway. Let's listen.
So what you're saying then is she got mad because you would no longer allow her to park a third party's car on your property.
Yes, Judge.
Because
yes.
you didn't want to incur liability to whoever the third party is.
I felt if I did what she wanted me to do, I would actually be in a bailment kind of a thing with this third party.
Okay.
With her driving this car with no driver's license.
Okay, well, all right, let me ask you a question. Whose
She's
car is
making
it?
this- first of
Whose
all,
car?
it's
No,
my-
first of all, wait, I'm driving the train. Just listen to
Okay.
my questions. Whose car is it?
It's my car, but it's titled under my ex-husband. I won the
Ex-husband's
car
name. Okay.
over a radio
Do you
station.
have a license?
Okay, it's expired. I have a learner's permit.
How long has the license been expired?
Since 2009. I was sick. I was hospitalized. I couldn't renew it.
Why do you have a learner's permit?
Well, now, because it expired for 3 years, and you have to, if it's
Start
after
over?
2 years,
Okay.
you have to do it over again.
Can
So
I
now,
see your learner's permit?
She's making up a story that has
have a-
nothing to do with why I moved out. That's irrelevant, okay?
No, if you moved out because you no longer had a parking space because
I
you were
moved out because
Can you,
of-
do you have an off button? I'm in the middle of a sentence. You think that's
sorry.
going to help your case? It does matter. It is incredibly relevant because if all of a sudden it's the way she's saying, which you can't park your car there, you don't want to live there anymore. That's a real reason you don't want to live there. So don't tell me that it's not relevant. I know you have years of experience in courts, which is probably where you learn to roll your eyes at a judge. I know that, but you are wrong when you say that it's not relevant.
I had already decided to move out. It doesn't matter whether she says I could park here or not. I had decided to move out because
Had you
I
told
wasn't-
anybody about that decision?
I told her, I wrote her a note, I cannot live here without an air conditioner before I even bumped into that girl's bumper.
Do you have that note?
Well, she has
Do
it.
you have that note?
She didn't
Was
save
there a
it. Of
note?
course, she
No.
didn't save it.
She never
because-
wrote a note?
No.
Excuse me, Judge.
Go ahead.
I had left her a note in the kitchen saying, there's no way I can live here without an air conditioner. And that was before I ever bumped Mika's car, okay?
She's disputing that you ever wrote that.
Okay, she can dispute
Okay, I
that,
understand.
but
So
I
do you-
did write it, and I left it on the
understand
kitchen
you
table.
say yes, did to, did not, did to, did not. Okay, now
course,
let's go to
of
the
course.
next issue.
Okay,
Do you
then
have any proof of it?
No.
No. But here's what I
Now
don't understand. You gave her back some money.
Yes, Your
How
Honor.
much money?
I gave her $1,000 back to settle the case and not go to court.
Okay, tell me about that.
That's, as far as I'm concerned, I am in court, and it's extortion that she took $1,000 from me.
Extortion?
I have the.
You have a settlement agreement?
Oh, I crossed out the lines that said,
She said she would, in front
No.
of 3 officers the second day. I went out the day after the accident with the one policeman. I went out the next day early. I was gone all day. She moved her things out all day. She was waiting for me to get the money, the $1,500 back. I came back about 7 p.m. When we started to discuss the money issue, it got excited, and I got on the phone and got a policeman to come over. 3 policemen came. So they let us work it out. For 2.5 hours, this went on. I'm going to settle it. I'm not going to settle it. I'm going to settle it. I'm not going to settle it.
And the police didn't just leave?
No, they were very
God bless them.
patient.
Excuse me.
No, you cannot interrupt. Go
They
on.
were very patient. And
Who wrote this?
I did. I wrote it, and I failed to notice when she signed it that she scratched out the part about we hold each other harmless in the future. But she failed to scratch out the part that says full settlement.
Yes. Okay, confirming
Okay.
Helen and Debbie have both agreed to cancel previous rental agreement and institute a full settlement of monies Debbie paid Helen and N Rental. Settlement is based on Debbie's turning over the key immediately and upon vacating today, receive $1,000 from Helen. Helen is receiving $500?
Yeah, well, the 500, and she
Keeping the
receives
500,
1,000.
and each holds the other. And then these are the words that were crossed out by you, totally harmless in the future by this new agreement. And then did you write in, this is accomplished in presence of a police officer?
Yes,
The
I
police-
wrote that.
Okay, and you don't notice that she,
No, it was so exciting that
it's exciting.
it was just everything was happening at once.
Again, and
Three
your
police-
intent, I mean, you're obviously all standing there. She hands you $1,000. You agreed to something in order to get the 1,000, and the night is a success, and you figure that you surreptitiously crossing something out means you can come to court and sue? What kind of
It was
world would
very
we
clever.
live in if I let you
thought
do
it
that?
was very clever.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. So the plaintiff's got no proof, but she says the air conditioning was a deal breaker. Does she lose?
Yes, because in common law, anything regarding to property, you would need to put it in writing. So
Not necessarily true with a lease. That you don't necessarily need a lease in writing. Assuming you don't need it in writing, does she still lose?
she does lose.
Because?
Well,
Huh?
she has no proof.
Other than her word. And her word isn't going to cut it?
Not in court.
Her who wants the money. She has no proof, and if it's her word, then that's no one else's word.
Fair enough. Going inside the courtroom.
What do you think? Let's
I
assume.
didn't even read
I
that.
want you to assume that. Oh, yes, you did, girl. You
I
absolutely
crossed
read
out
that.
the
You
lines.
crossed out only one part, the part that says totally harmless in the future by this agreement, because in your head, you already knew that you were going to want to go to court to sue for the other 500. So you thought that very cleverly you would cross this out and then you were protected. You're wrong legally because there's about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 lines you didn't cross out that talk about a settlement and that you're accepting $1,000 in settlement. What do you think settlement means?
I didn't
You
actually.
mean you get something, but she gets nothing? Now, you have a counterclaim against her for $500. How do you figure?
I'm supposed to get a 30-day notice of departure.
Says who? Your written agreement doesn't say that.
Well,
And you
New
had a
York.
settlement. What's good for the goose isn't good for the gander?
But she
what?
canceled the settlement.
Here's the thing. Okay. I find that there is a settlement, and I'm making both parties abide by the settlement. So since you gave her back $1,000 and she and that settled it, I'm respecting the
Oh,
settlement, and I'm
I
going to
understand, Jen.
There you go. All right.
Okay.
So on the counterclaim 0 and on her claim against you 0,
Thank
I find
you.
this case was settled.
Thank you.
Let's see what the plaintiff has to say coming out on the losing end of this decision from the judge. Why did you think you could come back and sue after signing that agreement?
Well, I actually thought that
You do understand that a signed settlement agreement dominates
it wasn't
here.
a signed settled agreement. I guess I didn't read the beginning of it. She was like shoving it in my face and everything, and so I
It
just
was a
like,
signed settlement agreement.
well.
That's why you lost.
Okay, that's fine.
All right.
But you know what? She's really the loser because her house is just full of. She's a hoarder.
All right, head right down there. Right. Okay, come on in here, and the same applies to you.
What does that mean?
That the signed settlement agreement
Well,
dominates
yes,
the ruling.
When it was upheld, I agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see it that way immediately, but when I understood the way the judge was ruling that she was going to adhere to that agreement, then I.
What about the AC? Is it true you wouldn't let her have an AC?
No.
It's pretty hot, and she needs one, right?
No,
No what?
I don't have one.
You don't need an AC.
I never
when it-
discussed AC with her, and I
Okay.
wouldn't even consider
You don't
it.
use AC when it's 90?
No.
Harvey?
Okay, this case really proves that if you're going to do it, you got to get it in writing or else it's going to be worthless. I just got to say, and I told you during the commercial, you look like I don't think I'm the first one, the kid on Glee.
Yes, sir. Almost there it was.
Wait a minute, you actually tried out?
Yes, I did.
That's really shocking. So they were looking for a really specific look.
Very much so.
Oh, and you almost got it?
Yes.
You must hate that guy.
You know what? He is fantastic.
You know what? You hate the guy. Come on. And that'll do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.